However, the Mo-Funk Club Night here in Vancouver now not only have a record label by the same name, they also have the Chameleon Urban Lounge, a club to call their own, giving a home to acid jazz and other sorts of urban music.
The label itself grew out of this club night, Mo-Funk, where we were bringing a lot of bands from other parts of the world and the West Coast bands, and we started realizing people were into our flavor here, and also the bands from here and the DJs from Vancouver, Pacific Northwest, we felt were world class, and so we set up Mo-Funk Records basically as a way to expose people around the world and in Canada to this scene that's going on here.
Is there something specific that you look for in a band before signing them?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, yes, that they come cheap. We're primarily doing compilations at this point, so we usually are going after a band for one specific song. So we're not actually we already know what we want out of them, which was that song or that sound. But I would say now, actually, it's a good question because we're going to hopefully do a little split with the label and move into more of a Mo-Funk will remain like the acid jazz label, and then we'll have like sort of a little bit of an offshoot, which will go into more experimental genres like trip hop and drum and bass. And there, we're definitely going to ask that those producers have a good basis in the music.
Album of theirs. Yeah. Did that help you guys out at all?
We feel it did. It's great for an established company like Mo-Funk, as small as they are, to hook up with you and to take one track and to help blow it up on their end, on their side of the country, while you're just trying to get play out there anyway, while you're trying to do it over here. So, yeah, totally helpful.
We don't expect drum and bass to be, crossing over in Grand Prairie. We know it's very much an urban thing, and there's probably 3 or 4 cities in Canada that will always have, an interest in it. But, you'd be surprised. One step beyond, they play in Saskatoon, they get a great response,
You guys have traveled right across Canada. Has Mo-Funk actually helped put your name out there?
Well, they did. They're our label only for Canada. It's weird, but they've done a lot for us in the States. When we went out, they didn't do too much for us our first time out because they didn't need to. The name was already out there, which is on the level that we wanted it to be. But in the States, where no one knew us at all, they did a lot of work helping us get the CD in some stores and get a bunch of press out there.
Ryan, this is Larissa. Proprietor of this fine jungle store.
You put all your...
These are all flyers. About half of these are for the Chameleon, basically. It's very nepotistic here in Vancouver. Yeah, they're nice, huh?
We tend to flyer for everything. We tend to feel like have more, it's better than less. So whenever we're out, and we're out all the time, we just kind of put them down wherever we see the place for them.
So you mean you have to work while you're being a party animal?
Damn right, yeah. That's how we make the big bucks.
We hire local designers to take care of it, local printing companies, and then it's something that people can hold on to. I've been to people's places I know who have got like all their flyers up on their wall, and they take our posters and stuff. So it's nice because it's really an exchange. And it personalizes the show rather than just like some quarter-page ad in a weekly that no one's going to remember.
What kind of nights do you usually have here throughout the week?
Well, we've tried to divide the entertainment up here to mix the live and the DJ thing because those are our 2 main influences. So 4 nights a week we have live music here, and 3 nights a week we have DJs. Here we have a real crossover all the DJs we know, people, they like to play straight up jazz. They'll one night trip hop, the next jungle the next night, or all in the same set. Maybe they'll drop some spoken word in there, and people in the city are really open to it. And when you go and DJ in other cities, you realize that that's a real luxury we have here, that people are like, they're up for the ride.
It doesn't fit in at all. Like, the people who come here, it turns into a type of a yuppie bar after a few times. It does, though.
What do you think of the DJs?
Really good, actually. They haven't been doing a lot of mixing, but they've more just been kind of fading in and out of music, but the mixing they have been doing is quite good.
So do you guys come here very often for acid jazz nights?
Yeah, we're here like every week.
What do you think of the DJs?
Mo Funk, he's my favorite DJ. He's a chameleon, just like the bar.
Vancouver is unique that we're, slightly, I think, more open-minded. Audience comes to our, shows, and we can drop like jungle tracks, and they'll be like, wow, that's interesting. Our Sunday nights, which started out as just an experiment in new music, playing drum, bass, and jungle, and now it's like one of the biggest nights in Vancouver. We would never thought that would happen, but it just happened, and it's just from the open-mindedness of people and willing to listen to new things.
All of us at Mo Funk, have an affinity with jazz, and we're following it where it goes. Drums and bass has jazz influence, a lot of it does, and other future forms of jazz music will always be an interest to us, and that, to a certain extent, will define the directions we choose.